Hello everybody, my name is Harold Meyer, and this is God's House, and today we're going to be talking about an episode of Touched by an Angel. Now, for those of you who don't know what Touched by an Angel is, it's a series that was developed, I think, in the 90s, if I remember right, and it talked about these angels coming and helping people. And yeah, so let's get to our apps before we get to the episode, or get to the episode more. Tuesday's app is War Machines. Thursday's app is Star Trek Fleet Command. Saturday's app is Robot Wars. Yeah, so to me, um, knowing people like I know them, it can be very, very difficult for somebody to understand what somebody else is going through. And some of us might pick on somebody, some of us might treat them like we're not supposed to. Like, look, for instance, I have a learning disability, and I have Tourette syndrome, which just one of those can be bad if I was little and if I was in school. But the fact that I didn't have my Tourette's episode till after I graduate might actually be a blessing, or it might be a curse because that means I can't outgrow it. But yeah, so and for those of you who haven't seen the episode, I urge you to go and see it. And by the way, this is not scripted. This is far from being scripted. This is like a podcast. Like I just want to talk about it. That's how I shoot my videos these days, like a podcast. Yeah, so and listen, we all need to be there for one another, all of us. We all need to be there for one another. And we all need to understand why people don't do this or that, or why this happens or that happens. You know, sometimes we don't know why stuff happens. Like in the episode, for instance, they had this autistic person's friend that got killed, and he had to do something that he was scared of. But sometimes you have to push through those things that we're scared of. Like me, for instance, I was scared. Sometimes I get scared about like going to a mall or about being around a lot of people. One person that asked me this, which I didn't really think about until they asked me, said, "Harold, are you scared of large crowds?" And the answer is sometimes yes. Sometimes like if there's a lot of distance in between us, like we're at a Walmart and it's not jam packed full of people, then no. But sometimes whenever I go eat out or whenever I go to public places or whenever I go to church sometimes, then the answer is yes. And some people don't understand what it's like to have Tourette's. Some people make fun of other people. But we can't control it. We can't stop it. That's what they don't get. It's not a thing that we can't do. We can't control it. We can't control it. No matter how hard we try, no matter how bad things get, we can't control it sometimes. Or sometimes we don't know how to control it. Like me, for instance, I'm not sure how to control my Tourette's. They say it can be done. Some people say that they can hold it in somehow, but whenever it comes out, it's worse. Which I don't even know how to hold it in. But anyway, all I'm asking is this. For those of us who know somebody with autism, try to be their friend if you can. Try to be there for them. Because listen, they might not have too many friends. They might have more enemies than they do friends. And if that's the truth, then that's sad. That goes to show you what kind of corrupt world we live in. It goes to show you that. And sometimes we like overthink things, or sometimes we might think of it like just ourselves, like do our own personal point of view. Like, ooh, that person's really messing up. I should laugh at them because of this. You know, sometimes kids will be kids, but sometimes we need to pull them aside and explain to them what they're doing is wrong. That's what we need to. That's what we need to do sometimes. Pull them aside and explain to them what they're doing is wrong. I know that it can be easier said than done for that. And I know that I probably have sinned against somebody who has autism. But remember this: blessed are those who are the weak in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So what does that mean? Well, to me, that means that blessed are those who have disabilities, whether that be physical or mental, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And what does that mean? That means that they're going to get an extra reward when they go to heaven. But we shouldn't do it because we get an extra reward for helping out somebody. We should do it because we love the person. And hopefully they can be a friend of ours. Hopefully we can be a friend of theirs. You know, just try to understand somebody. Like somebody can be like 18 and have like an 8-year-old's mind. I once met this kid who was in his 20s. He looked like he was like 9. And he had a mind of a 9-year-old. And he was in high school. Yeah. So sometimes things can be hard, they can be challenging. But for those of us who dare to challenge things, who dare to do to do what most people don't do, who dare to help people, who dare to help solve the world's problems. For those of us who do that, I pray that God blesses you all. And I know that this is a Christmas episode and it's not Christmas. It's just the order in which it was on Paramount Plus, which is the streaming service I use. And listen, God does say this, and I will admit I have sinned against this. To do like whatever we do, like let's say if we have excuse me, a church and if it's Mother's Day, the church is supposed to do something on Mother's Day. But you see, me with my videos, I didn't do anything for Mother's Day, unfortunately. I pray that my mom forgives me. And Mama, if you're out there, then I hope you know that I love you. It could be years from now that you see this, or it could be tomorrow. Who knows the YouTube algorithm these days? Who knows with the YouTube algorithm these days? Yeah, so, and we all need each other. We all need each other. We need each other badly. How badly do we need one another? Well, if we didn't need each other, then we wouldn't have all of these wars. We wouldn't have all of this suffering. You know, we need each other, not just for resources or for personal gain, but for physical health. Like sometimes some of us can't do certain things. Some of us can't some of us can't how should I put this, communicate ourselves well. Some of us can't talk well. Like me, for instance, I probably been slurping because of my medicine I've been taking. But some of us can't really enjoy life. Some of us can't do that. And we need to do that. We need to come together as Christians and be like, that's not right. This is not right. How can I help you? How can you help me? Well, don't always make it about yourself, though. But always try to be there for somebody else. Try to be somebody else's best friend that everybody else thinks is a loser. Because let me tell you something. That person that everybody thinks is a loser, they could be having bad thoughts of hurting themselves or somebody else. and you could prevent that. Because they might be thinking, oh, I'm always going to be a loser, or nobody loves me, nobody wants to take care of me. And we don't know what their family life is like. It might be worse than their school life if they go to school, or their work life. It might be worse than that. And sometimes the best thing you can do is ask somebody if, if they want if they want you to pray for them. Sometimes that's the best thing you can do. No, not all the time, but sometimes that's the best thing you can do. And sometimes we do get lucky, like see this right here? I spilled some water near it, and it seems to be working fine. And sometimes we need that extra luck. We need that extra friend. We need that extra family member. I call, like some people I call my adopted family. Whenever they're not really adopted, they're just like best friends to me. I'm sorry, I scratch my head a lot whenever I have my Tourette's. I say a lot, it's not a lot, but I scratch my head sometimes if I have my Tourette's. Yeah, so we need to be there for one another. We need each other. We need to be there for one another. Because let me tell you something, life can be hard, it can be cruel, it can be painful, it can be unbearable, it can be all of these negative things. But one thing I hope that it never is hopeless. I hope that it never is uh hopeless as in not as some people might say, believing in God is hope and not having whenever you don't have enough faith that life's hopeless. I believe that life can be hopeful as long as you think that there's a meaning to it. And you don't have to believe in God for there to be hope in your heart and in your mind. You don't have to. But the Bible does say that work without faith is meaningless. But not all of us follow the Bible. And I'm not saying that you should or you shouldn't follow the Bible. I'm just saying sometimes we need to re-examine ourselves and we need to re-examine our entire lives and just to see if we've been helping people out, just to see how bad things have really gone, just to see, just to see if there's any hope out there for us. Because sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. Sometimes there's no hope out there. And by the way, if y'all feeling like that, then I urge y'all to contact a therapist and a licensed pastor. If y'all believe in Christianity or any other religion, because a pastor will give you more of a biblical point of view, whereas a therapist or a psychiatrist will give you more of a scientific point of view. If that makes any sense. And sometimes we need them both because we need both of their opinions. Sometimes we don't know why we feel certain ways or why we do certain things. Sometimes we just don't know. And please keep me in your prayers and God's house in your prayers because I'm the only one that's been buying equipment lately. And let me show y'all our Patreon page while I'm at it. Let me go to hold on. Hold on, that's how I want. Chrome is not the thing I wanted to go to. We close out of this. Yeah, this all improv, and we got about 15 minutes left. That's it. About because this is timed because of the fact that hold on, let me see where is Patreon right here. I say that this time because it helps me like edit and upload things. It helps me get things done. And as y'all can see right here, our first tier starts at $3 a month. I mean, that's like what, a cup of coffee and a biscuit. Then that goes to $9 a month. That begins to move it into what am I looking for? Like into whole into a whole hold on, let me pause while I'm thinking about it. Anyway, I can't think about it, but that is a bit more expensive. And yeah, then we go into $25 a month. Well, $25, and I'm expecting a whole bunch of y'all to pay that because of the fact of the matter is that that's a lot of money. And I guarantee you that 100% of this money goes towards God's house. All of this money is being donated. It goes towards God's house. Yeah, so I'm sorry, I just have to stretch. Yeah, yesterday I really didn't do much except sit on my computer because it rained a lot. Today I might go outside. I don't know what the weather's gonna be like for today. I might go outside and get some sunlight. Also, I'm gonna be seeing the doctor in the next, probably in the next week or two. I mean, a psychiatrist. And it's just for a checkup. It's not bad. And I find I've been doing good except for my sleeping. But my Tourette's hasn't been acting that bad lately, except for whenever I go to church. Um, or whenever I'm around a lot of people in a small room. Or whenever I see a doctor, because I get nervous. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I do get nervous whenever I see a doctor. Because I always think, oh boy, they're gonna put me back in the hospital. Because I have had doctors hurt myself and an attempt to hurt myself. And by the way, I urge y'all to take, if y'all are having them thoughts, take that seriously and contact a, a therapist and a licensed pastor. Because that's not something that you should play around with. Anyway, let's get back to the episode. So, the episode, like I said, y'all should watch it before y'all watch this review. Because I'm not really gonna talk. I don't really want to spoil it much, but this autistic boy has this friend that dies, and he doesn't know what he's gonna do without her. And basically, somebody, his older brother steps in and helps him out. I know I kind of spoiled some of it for y'all, but I didn't want y'all to watch the episode, so yeah. And it is a Christmas episode, and I understand that right now it might not be Christmas time, depending on what time of the year you're watching this. But for those of us who are watching it during Christmas time, I I would like to thank y'all for watching it. And for those of us who are watching it in general, I'd like to thank y'all for watching this. For watching it and this, I meant. Because sometimes do need a good Christmas show in the middle of summer. Sometimes we do need it's like a little pep talk. I don't know if y'all know what that is, but a little pep talk is sometimes like in movies, it's done by coaches who teams are losing, and they give them a little pep talk to inspire them. It's just like some little quotes just to inspire people. Because sometimes the odds are against us. Sometimes things are against us. But listen, I believe that. Look, I also here's where my here's where my beliefs kind of contradict each other. I also watch Star Trek, and I understand that the final two episodes are all good things I disagree with, but as for the rest of it, sometimes I agree with it, because sometimes even the science can be wrong, because we're moving into that age where we're getting more intelligent and more intelligent. We get in the cellular, some of our other predictions seem to have seen. Like for instance, Star Trek's teleporter, that's way beyond our current technology. I mean, just moving the information from one place to another is way beyond our current technology. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying that it would be hard to do. I mean, before they had SSDs, they talked about. I heard them talk about using a city the size of maybe New York to process just one person. But that was before SSDs. SSDs now, I'm not sure about. For those of you who are wondering, what's a, what's an SSD? An SSD is a solid state drive, and if it's ancestor the HDD or a hard disk drive. And for those of you who are old enough, their ancestors, which is the floppy disk drive. Sometimes they would use. Well, yes, that would be the ancestor of the CD, maybe, instead of the hard drive, because the hard drive's been around for a long time. But yeah, and listen, we need to pray for one another. And today I got lucky. I spilled some water on some electronics, but everything seems to be working fine. Oh, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. I got blessed because my electronics seem to be working fine. Blessed are those who are the weak in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. I'm very blessed. I have a sister and a family. I have two sisters, three brothers that all love me, and one mom and one dad that love me. And some of us don't have that. Some of us don't have people that we can turn to. That's why we need to be each other's friends sometimes, or all the time. We need to be friendly to each other, but that friendliness doesn't excuse criticism. Because if we don't show somebody criticism, then they might not never ever learn from their mistakes. They might not never ever learn from their mistakes. And that's why I encourage y'all, even if y'all liked the video, please tell me something that y'all didn't like about it. Like maybe y'all thought it was too short, or maybe y'all thought it was too long, or maybe y'all thought that y'all didn't like the audio, or maybe y'all thought that a Christian YouTuber shouldn't be playing video games, or video games that don't talk about the Bible. Which to me, I'm not that good at the Bible. I'm not a Bible expert. I don't consider myself that. But I do consider myself to be as a Christian. Yeah, so just we need to keep each other in our prayers, people. We need each other. We need each other. We need each other. And I'm about to have a timer that's gonna go off, but it should go off after this video is done. Yeah, I'm just looking at my clock right now because in a little while I gotta wake up my brother. About 9 minutes. I have about 5 minutes left on the timer. Yeah, so just we need each other. And that's the point I want to make with somebody. We need each other. Some of us only have one or two friends, and what happens whenever those one or two friends die? Well, we feel lonely, we feel empty, we feel depressed. We feel all of these negative things, but we don't feel hopeful. We don't feel happiness. And the Bible says rejoice whenever somebody dies because they might be going to heaven. Like those, I'm not sure what the exact words are, but that's what it pretty much says. And I'm not sure exactly where I found that. And it says to be sad whenever somebody's born. Now, I'm not saying that abortion is okay. No, I'm not saying that at all. To me, abortion's a sin. And to me, you're robbing somebody, like a future genius, from being born, or a future president, or you're robbing somebody of like there was this one instance where this person they tried to abort him, the abortion failed, and he winds up becoming the CEO of this major tech company. And I don't know who it is. I just heard about it, so maybe it's wrong. But yeah. So we need each other. We need each other. That's how you get that. We need each other. And sometimes that's financially, which if it is financially, then I urge y'all to do this. If somebody asks for something like money for diapers, or it could be something else, go out and buy the diapers for them. Because sometimes they use that money for drugs. Sometimes they use that money for sinful things. Yeah, so and what do we do about it? Well, we can study God's word. We can study to show thyself approved. That's what the Bible says. We can go out there and make friends without sinning. And what do I mean by that? I mean like we can make friends like at a coffee shop or maybe a barber shop, but not at no bar. Well, we can make friends at a bar, but we don't need to. Or maybe we could go to church and make friends, or a church event. And let's say that the church was hosting something with some. Let me give y'all an example. Okay, so once a year, our church hosts something with other churches, and it talked about Jesus and his death and resurrection. Yeah, so sometimes we can go to church events like that. But listen, just because there are some people who said, "Oh, if such and such commit suicide, they go to heaven or hell." It's not the fact that they committed suicide that determines if they go to heaven or hell. It's a relationship with God. Because you have to understand something. Some of the smartest people ever, like like you know, Nikola Tesla. I don't get his name mixed up with Elon Musk, but Nikola Tesla, he he was a bit his technology is still being used today. He used something called a what is it? Hold on, I'm trying to remember. It's early in the morning, my bad. Alternating current, which is used at power plants, and Edison said that alternating currents basically isn't. Okay, hold on. Basically, he said that alternating currents isn't necessarily isn't a good idea. Instead, he showed what it can do to a dog. which to me that's just sad. And what else is sad was that Nikola Tesla was behind on his rent and he couldn't afford to pay it, so he committed suicide. That and his inventions weren't working out like he hoped. But listen, some of the brightest people in the world have committed suicide. Why? Because they don't have nobody to turn to. They don't have a friend or family member. But we need to be there for one another. We need each other. As a human race, we need each other. We need each other badly. We need each other. And I pray and hope that God continues to use God's house to reach people in His name. Not in my name. What do I mean by that in His name? I mean like reach people because He loves them. Reach people because He's kind to them. Reach people because He understands them. You know, like sometimes, for instance, whenever I go to church, I might have my Tourette episode. But I try to go for two reasons. One, I want to be with God, and two, I want to go to my sister's wedding, which is coming up. And I just don't know how I'm going to be able to handle it. So please keep me in your prayers. It's coming up in about maybe a little over a month. I don't know. I'm not sure the exact date, which I know it should be, but I'm not sure of. Also, please keep me in your prayers. I'm aware that the audio quality sucks. Whenever I record something, whenever I record a gameplay video. So yeah, that's something else I gotta work on. So yeah, so I might go 1 minute overtime, I don't know, or a few more minutes overtime. Cause I gotta wake up my little brother anyway, and it's almost time. But yeah, so just we need to be there for one another. We need each other as Christians and as fellow human beings. We need each other, and we don't need to let this deceitful world destroy us. We don't need that. But what we do need is for God to say, "You did a good job." Sometimes, for God to pat us on the back, or sometimes God will say, "You know, you really didn't put your all into it. Next time, why don't you do that? Because I'm not really impressed by you." And yeah, it is 6 o'clock, which means that it's time for me to wake up my little brother. So yeah, so let's stop it right here. Hey guys, if y'all like this video and y'all want to share the word of God, y'all can like and subscribe and comment. And if y'all want to donate some money, we have a Patreon page. Now the Patreon stuff starts at $3 a month and it goes up to $25. And the reason why we do it monthly is because that gives us an idea of what we're going to be able to make like for the next month. Anyway, bye guys.